Today we're going to be comparing probably the most popular M-Lite 1 Series to the least popular. So this, as you probably well know, is the F20 M140i. And this is the brand new M135. So the F20 is owned by our fitter Kai, and the F70 is owned by our ops director, Sam. Sam paid £44,000 for this, and Kai paid under £20,000 for this. Let's get into the important stuff and let's talk about what's actually under the bonnets. Over here on the F20, we have got a 3-litre turbocharged B58 engine. Over here, we have got a 2-litre turbocharged B48 engine. This is X-Drive, so 4-wheel drive, and this is purely rear-wheel drive. Standard, this baby produces 340 brake horsepower, and standard, this baby produces 300 brake horsepower. Both of these have been tuned to very different levels of power though. So the M140i is running a different exhaust, a remap, and an uprated fuel pump producing 480 brake horsepower. So this car's running an uprated air intake, a TDI tuning box, and a OPF back exhaust system, and this car is producing 370 brake horsepower, so it doesn't have anywhere near as much power as the M140i. So in terms of weight, you might be wondering which one is lighter. The F20 comes in at 1,550 kg, and this comes in 20 kg heavier. I know what you're thinking. On paper at the moment, the new girl isn't looking very good, but this is a good car and we're going to show you why later on in this video. So I'm going to talk about the interior inside the new F70. Let's get inside. To be honest, the interior in this is actually very, very nice. It's very similar to what you sort of get in all G series models, even though this is still an F series technically. Get a lovely new facelift steering wheel, nice screen, you get ambient lighting that you can adjust. It's pretty minimalistic, but the seats are really, really nice. Like, you definitely feel like you're sitting in a sports seat when you're sitting in one of these. Harman Kardon sound system. I think overall, the interior is a very nice place to be inside this car. So now it's time to see what the F20 is like inside. And to be honest, it's very, very different. It's standard F series, to be fair, in terms of interior. The seats are very basic for an M-Lite. They're pretty much the exact same seats that you would get inside just like a normal 1 Series, to be honest, except for their leather, which can be spec'd from other cars. Apart from that, I don't actually mind the interior from F Series, because obviously it's pretty similar to what I've got in my F82 M4. Basic, but nowhere near on the same level as what you're getting inside the F70. Not gonna lie though, sunroof goes off. Right, now we're gonna go through mods on both of these cars, because as I said earlier, we've delved into a little bit of the performance of both of these cars, but they both have very different mods in terms of handling and stuff like that, so I'm going to go through them now. So starting off with the M140i, it's running a GTS bonnet along with a full Zero kit, so the car does look very, very nice. Down here we've got a set of CS style wheels, the car's on Michelin PS4 tyres. Round there we've got a set of gloss black M style mirror covers, Zero side skirts. So in terms of suspension, this car's running MMR springs and Bilstein shocks, so it should handle pretty good, to be honest. And this diff has also been uprated to an M Performance LSD, because these come from factory with an open diff and they're normally all over the road as soon as you tune them, so this should help get that power down a little bit more smoothly. But let's have a quick look around the back as well. So in terms of exhaust, this car is running a Sports Cat with literally some larger tips, and it's completely stock other than that, but we're going to do a little sound test between both cars in a second as well. Zero rear diffuser and a Zero spoiler. Now let's talk about the new M135. The M135 is running a few of the M Performance gloss black parts. This is an M Performance splitter, M Performance canards. The car is lowered on I-back springs and it's sitting on a set of prototype Auto ID X2 forged wheels, which I think these look absolutely amazing and they transform the look of the car. And you're going to see a little bit more of that in the future. Over here, we've got a set of gloss black mirror covers. Down here, we've got the M Performance side skirts. And then coming round to the back, we have also got the M Performance rear diffuser paired up with what I said earlier. It's a Miltech OPF back system. So this is a TDI tuning box which we recently fitted, and this is really cool because it's not like a normal remap. You literally just plug in a few sensors, it's plug and play, and you're gonna get 70 extra brake horsepower, which is absolutely amazing. If you want one of these are available in our store. But what I am gonna do a little bit later on in the video is you can actually turn this off by your phone, so we can run it in a stock and run it with the TDI tuning box activated to see what sort of difference that this bad boy makes. We have done one other little change over here. So from factory, the car has a pretty strange looking badge. It's like an M1, then a miniature 3.5. We've essentially stuck on the old style badges, and I think this looks a lot nicer. Just looks a little bit more cleaner, and Sam really likes that touch. But let's give both cars a quick little rev now and get a bit of a sound difference. So we're going to start with the F70 M135. Putting it into its sportiest mode. Believe it or not, that actually sounds a lot better than it did from factory. This is pretty stupid, to be honest, because we are comparing a car with OPF filters, which they've had to design because of the emissions and everything like that. It's producing no sound, it's a 2 litre, and this is obviously going to be a 3 litre without OPFs and a sports cat. So if this doesn't sound 10 times better, I'll literally take my shoe off right now and eat it. I mean, that sounds a lot better other than the Overrun car. What's going on with that? Why has it got big bad boys, big spec Overrun, dirty pop and bang map on it?
It's got a hole in the exhaust.
Oh, it's got a hole in the exhaust, he said.
You can tell he used to drive a Fiesta ST.
Yeah. No, this definitely wins the sound test by a long shot.
But we still want to see Nath eat his shoe, so everyone just comment that.
No, don't say that. So in terms of the looks are always very subjective, to be honest. And I've got to say, the M140i looks timeless in terms of design, but you can also see the F70 is more modernised. It looks more modern and more up to date with what's going on in the world. The main thing you'll want to know is, how do these cars actually both drive? We're going to test drive them very shortly. But before we do that, if you like any of the mods or any of the other parts that have been fitted on these cars, make sure you head over to the AutoID website, use code YouTube5 and you'll get a discount off of the store. We've just jumped in the F70. I'm now going to take this for a drive. You can tell I've hardly driven this car because I don't even know how to start it. I've only driven this car briefly when we first got it. As I said earlier, this car is a really nice place to be. Like, it just feels very modernised, quality feels very nice. So I can start with the average MPG that Sam's got, and Sam's got 37 MPG average, which is very good, to be honest, especially if it's being used as a daily like this is for him. Just driving this round normally at the moment, and I can see why a lot of people have these as daily cars. It's just a very nice, comfortable car to drive around in. It has all the tech you need. The seats feel lovely, they're comfortable but supportive. I think it's a great daily. So I'm just going to test the power and see what it's like with the tuning box off. I mean, that's a pretty sensible bit of power. It's nothing too crazy that you're going to get into and think, cool, this is absolutely rapid, but it's more than enough power to sort of get you off of roundabouts and get you out of the way in terms of overtakes and stuff like that. Let's get the tuning box turned on now. Connor's just going to get that adjusted and turned on now. Cheers, Connor. Is that all done? Yeah, you've turned it back on?
Yeah.
All right, now let's test it with the tuning box activated. There is a solid difference between that. 100% you can notice a difference between that. So with the tuning box, this car is producing just under 400 brake horsepower, which to most people would feel very fast. But the thing I'm noticing is, where this car is so modernised, it's not quite sucking you in the seat. It's a little bit numb feeling. I think that's the best way of putting it. Where it's ultra modernised, it's taken a little bit of the fun out of things, obviously being four-wheel drive as well. If this car was rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, it would have a little bit more life to it in terms of actually feeling the power. We're heading over to some back roads now. Let's go test how this car handles. So we're on a nice little bit of a back road now. Let's see what this is like. A little bit of understeer. The car likes to roll about quite a lot, but it actually handles very well. You can, it definitely feels front wheel drive bias because you can feel it pushing into an understeer as you're coming round corners. The brakes are very, very good. It kind of feels like a little go-kart. And it actually sounds pretty good when you're from inside the cabin when you're ripping it around. Get the left foot brakes in. You know what? It actually handles surprisingly well. Like, I'm really impressed with that actually. I'm really impressed with how that handles. That might have just changed everything I feel about this car, to be honest. I'm very, very impressed how that feels. That feels... I used to have an Audi S1 and it was a 4-wheel drive 2-litre car, considerably lighter than this and manual. And that just felt like a much better handling version of that car. After sort of driving it on a back road properly, I've got to say I am very impressed with the handling of this car. I think the power level is at the perfect level, to be honest, because it means that you can keep it literally flat out on country roads. The intake sounds absolutely lovely. Now I'm excited to get inside the F20 M140i and see how that compares. So we're now going to take the M140i for a drive. I've driven quite a few M140i's already, so I know kind of what they drive like, so I'm excited for this. I'm still quite surprised by how the F70 handled on a back road. I would probably say, from driving other M140i's from what I could remember, on a tight back road like that one, it would probably outhandle this car, which is a bit of a wild statement to make, but that's just how I felt. As I said earlier, I really like the old gen interiors. I think it feels very nice and it almost feels a little bit higher quality in terms of the build quality of stuff. But it's not really comparable to the new stuff. The new stuff just looks a lot cleaner and it's a little bit nicer to use as well, to be honest. Well, let's just do a quick MPG check. How do we check the MPG on this? Oh, the MPG is pretty good. So we're getting 31 MPG out of this car average when Kai's been using it as a daily. So that's pretty good. Not too far off of the F70. The F70 was 37 MPG. Not bad for a 3 litre. In terms of steering and stuff like that, this has a way more steering feel. It's got way less body roll purely because of the suspension setup and the mods. This feels like a completely different car already compared to the F70. The F70 feels much more like a normal road car. This feels like a sports car, to be honest. It feels really, really, really nice. Yeah, it's got much more power. But straight away I'm having to let off because I'm up to the speed limit. It's a little bit different to what you get in the F70. The F70 you can keep your foot in a lot longer. So much more torque, even in like 6th gear. I'd say that this has probably got more torque in 6th gear compared to what the F70 would have had in 3rd in terms of straight line speed. And you can hear it. It's actually really quick. Coming onto a bit more of a back road now. This car is rapid. I've got loads of confidence in the steering. So normally M140i's are very sort of scatty and all over the road when you're coming on a power through corners, but where this has got the M Performance diff, it's delivering the power how an M car would, to be honest. It's very, very nice. This feels very much like, with this current setup, it's a little bit more rolly than what an M car would be, but with this current setup on the road, this would easily keep up with an F82 M4 or something like that, and I can say that with chest. And I'm not quite sure, in terms of raw pace, that the F70 would outpace this. On a very, very tight back road, I think the F70 will have the edge, but the moment you get anywhere where you can get the power down from the M140, unfortunately it's going to come straight past it. And yeah, I think this car drives absolutely amazing. I think Kai's done a great job at getting it all set up with the bits that it's got on it. When I say it feels like an M car, almost an M car, not quite. Overall, I think these are both great options and they're kind of made for very different people and very different uses. I think if you're going to use it for a pure weekend car, you're not going to go wrong with the F20. If it's going to be an everyday driver and you want that added luxury of having a nicer day-to-day car to drive in general, the F70 is going to be the one for you. But my personal take, my heart is with the F20 purely because I love driving and the enjoyment that this car brings you over the newer features that you get in the newer car. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Drop us a comment down below in what car you would take and why, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday at 4 p.m.